Picture dawn breaking over the volcanic slopes of Michoacán. Fog, dogs barking in the distance, and somewhere in this gray half-light, a name drops like a stone into water: Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, El Mencho. A man everyone talks about, but almost no one claims to have seen. Leader of the Cartel Jalisco Nueva Generación, CJNG for short, and the target of one of the largest international manhunts of our time. Who is this phantom boss? How did a farmer's son become a global key figure in organized crime? And why does he always seem one step ahead? But what is really behind the legend? Before he became a myth, he was a child from rural western Mexico. Stories speak of avocado fields, hard work, and leaving school early. In the 1980s came migration to the United States, petty offenses, arrests, deportation. Back in Mexico, the next act begins. Contacts in the world of the drug economy, first as a small player, then as a man within the network of the Milenio Cartel. When Mexico's cartel landscape starts to crumble under arrests and murders, a new entity rises from the rubble in 2009, CJNG. Was that coincidence or fate? El Mencho is not a capo with gold chains and social media vanity. His trademark is the opposite: discretion, logistics, control. While others flaunt pomp, CJNG relies on tactics that look almost military: rapid expansion, violence as a message, against rivals and against security forces. In just a few years, a regional actor becomes a cartel considered brutal, agile, and astonishingly adaptable. The question is, how do you build an empire without being seen? The answer: with cells, loyalty, money, and the readiness to act harder than the rest. In the shadow of global supply chains, CJNG aligns its portfolio: methamphetamine, cocaine, fentanyl. The cartel is regarded as transnational in scope, from the Pacific to U.S. metropolises, with touchpoints into South America all the way to ports and border cities. Its reputation, one of Mexico's most powerful and fastest expanding cartels, El Mencho, doesn't rule like a monarch, but like a logistician. He lets the networks speak, the numbers, the routes, and he lets myths do their work, because an invisible boss is harder to catch than a king with a crown. But how long can such a system hold? In 2025, Washington tightens the screws. On February 20th, the U.S. State Department designates CJNG a foreign terrorist organization. That opens up new legal tools, from material support charges to expanded financial sanctions. Shortly afterwards comes a series of measures: OFAC sanctions against a network that links fuel theft and drug money, criminal cases against allies and financial operators. Meanwhile, in Washington, El Mencho's son Ruben, El Menchito, is sentenced to life in prison, a signal the noose is tightening, or just another act in a very long play? And El Mencho himself? He remains missing. The U.S. reward, up to $15 million, an unusually high sign of priority. The DEA lists him as a fugitive, while the rumor mill has been boiling for years. Ill, dead, underground, nothing is confirmed. The legend feeds on silence. Authorities suspect sealed-off hideouts, ring-shaped security cordons, a discipline of communication that resembles intelligence service protocols. Putting chains on a ghost is hard, but ghosts make mistakes, eventually. CJNG has conquered not just territories but methods: militarized structures, rapid fragmentation under pressure, outsourcing to local cells, professional money laundering arms like Los Queenies. It has shifted the threshold of violence, and with it the state's response: the FTO designation, new sanctions, international cooperation. All of that is also El Mencho's legacy. Whether this strategy breaks the cartel system or merely forces it into new forms remains an open question. What's left is a lesson in the economy of the shadows. Whoever controls the logistics controls the market. But at what price? In the end, we return to the slopes of Michoacán. The light has grown brighter. Behind numbers, nicknames, and headlines live real people who pay the price. Mothers who wait, children who whisper. Communities that have to reinvent themselves. This story is not a hero saga, but a warning, and perhaps a beginning. Because every system that turns fear into currency is, in the end, built by people and can be changed by people. Was it coincidence or fate? Perhaps both. But the only answer that really counts is ours. Rule of law, truth and transparency, protection of the vulnerable, the rest is work. And that work starts now.